The victim's cloak. The victim. I know there are those who do not like that word. They regard it as stigmatizing and a hindrance to recovery. One understands such an approach, but nevertheless it is the appropriate word for those who have encountered our kind in the narcissistic dynamic. What does victim mean? A person harmed, injured, or killed as a result of a crime, accident, or other event or action. There is no denying this would apply to someone who has been ensnared by us. A person who is tricked or duped. Equally applicable. After all, it is the very essence of our behavior that we trick or dupe you. A person who has come to feel helpless and passive in the face of misfortune or ill treatment. Accurate again. Of course, not everybody may feel this way, but many will readily recognize it, even if they prefer not to announce it. Accordingly, these various definitions are valid and accurate to those who have been involved with our kind, be it romantic, social, familial, or otherwise. It remains the case, however, that when it comes to the issue of victimhood and who gets to wear the victim's cloak, that once more our kind exhibits our well-known hypocrisy. We regard you as the victim. We have to, as this is part of the maintenance of our control and need for superiority. But we also then look to remove that victim status from you. The various schools of narcissism approach this double standard in differing ways, in respect of how we stamp you with the victim, but then deny you any use or recognition of it. We both adorn you with the cloak, and then remove it in some way. Let us begin with the lesser narcissist. The lesser narcissist treats you as a victim, because you are beneath him or her. You are considered useless, in the way and an annoyance, and your dithering, inability to second-guess what the lesser wants, results in a swift ignition of fury, and its manifestation is usually heated fury. You are made to feel the victim by being lambasted verbally, physically assaulted, sexually assaulted, demeaned, having your property destroyed, and seeing others you cared about being drawn into the whirlwind also. The victim's cloak is rapidly placed around your shoulders through this treatment of you, but then the lesser narcissist immediately rips it away, shreds it, and hurls it to one side, so you cannot use it. Your victimhood is created through an aggressive act or acts. However, you are not allowed to retain the mantle of victim, because the lesser takes the firm view that whatever treatment has been applied against you, well, you deserved it. She was back-chatting me, so she got a slap. He was lousy in bed, so I told him how useless he is. The house was a mess, so I smashed it up, so she really had something to clean up. You are denied the status of victim because in the mind of the lesser narcissist, you brought the treatment on yourself. The fact you deserve it negates the sympathy, compassion, and understanding that would ordinarily be afforded to a victim. Leave her be. She deserves what she got. Quit fussing over her. It's for his own good, so he will get it right next time. Stop mollycoddling that boy. He has to learn, and I am teaching him. Of course, this conduct by the lesser of branding you the victim through your mistreatment, and then the wrenching away of your cloak of victimhood, is all part of the further control and manipulation. His knee-jerk reaction will have generated fuel from your response to being struck or shouted at. But then, as the victim, you are usually afforded concern, sympathy, and help by others. The lesser may find himself being triangulated by a concerned relative, friend, or bystander. This erodes his control, and unconsciously his own innate status as a victim comes to the fore. He does not recognize this. After all, he does not want the cloak to wear for himself. He is not a victim. Hell no. He is better than that. But just as he believes he does not want that cloak, you are not allowed to wear it either. And thus, he will deny you any entitlements associated with being classed as a victim, purely because his own inherent victim status, albeit unrecognized, makes its presence known. Even a lesser narcissist who belongs to the victim cadre does not consider himself as a victim. Unconsciously he does, but he considers his preferential treatment owing to his poor health, dodgy back, or sheer bad luck an entitlement of his. He will not regard himself as a victim, but someone who ought to be looked after, although, of course, he is playing the card of victim cadre extensively. Why play this card? Simple. To stop you being allowed to be the victim. You have hurt your hand and cannot cook? Too bad. He is hungry and not able to walk, so you will have to do something. You feel faint. He has a fractured eyelash, and you need to get him to the hospital quick smart. But remember, he is not a victim. You are. But you do not get any sympathy, consolation, or help for being that victim. Thus, you receive the cloak, but you are not allowed to wear it, and it is ripped up and thrown away. The mid-range narcissist. The mid-ranger will treat you as a victim because they are the perpetrator of various abuses and manipulations against you. Whilst heated fury does manifest with the mid-range narcissist, usually the lower mid-ranger, the manifestation of fury is most usual through cold fury. Thus, you receive the present and absent silent treatments, the smearing, the gaslighting, the cold shoulders, and the incredible sulk, to name but a few of the manipulations that are available to the mid-range narcissist. The mid-ranger treats you as the victim, as these abuses are doled out against you, and one might expect that the array of emotional, financial, sexual, and most of all psychological abuses that the mid-ranger uses would mean that the victim's cloak would settle snugly about your shoulders. No. The mid-ranger plucks that cloak from you and places it about his or her shoulders. It is their cloak. You are not allowed the trappings of being a victim because you are not entitled to support or to concerned attention. No, that must be directed towards the mid-ranger. Whilst he rejects the notion of weakness that is often associated with the status of being a victim, he always believes that he is the victim. For instance, I cannot believe I was passed over for promotion. I have been discriminated against, and I am the best candidate. I cannot believe to tell you how terribly she treats me. I am never invited to see the grandchildren by my daughter. I don't know what I have done wrong, but she is intent on making my life utterly miserable. The mid-range narcissist wants the cloak. It is his by right, and he wants everything that goes with it. He wants the pity party, the commiseration conference, and the sympathy symposium. He is the victim, don't you know? Show some support, offer a concerned look, ask how he is, suggest a way of helping, agree that he is hard done to, downtrodden, and treated appallingly, and after everything that he has done. Tell the mid-range narcissist that she deserves to be treated better, that she is well regarded, and this person who has not done what they wanted is an awful, despicable person and an abuser. The mid-ranger always plays the victim, even though they are the perpetrator. You are the victim because you are the one who is abused, but the mid-ranger will never see it that way, and he or she will not let anybody regard it that way, as she or he pouts and twirls in their victim's cloak. You can never be afforded the benefits that should be afforded to the true victim. Should the mid-ranger be of the victim cadre also, then order plenty of tissues, because he or she will grab that victim cloak from you and, grimacing, stitch it onto themselves, passing needle and thread through aching skin, so they can never be parted from that cloak. The greater narcissist. The greater will never consciously consider him or herself as a victim. Never. After all, we are the hunters, the predators, the ones that target and find our prey. Not only that, we need only look at what we do, what we achieve, and how we are regarded, and this underlines and reinforces that we are not victims. We do, however, utilize the notion of being a victim to drive our behaviors, but we do not label it as being a victim. No, instead, we consider it to be based on revenge. We recognize that the world is a treacherous place, full of untrusty charlatans and liars who come with great promises and then fail to deliver. The simpering and fawning lick-spittles who flatter to deceive, although we naturally see through all of that. Yet still, that behaviour, unwarranted and unjustified, means we could consider ourselves victims if we truly would lower ourselves in such a way. However, we are above that, and once we were victims, although we see no reason to be reminded of that fact because we escaped it, means that you, him, her, and everyone else will be punished if you even hint at returning us to that almost forgotten state of victimhood. We have no desire to wear the victim's cloak. It does not belong to us. It is not our size, colour, and is made of material that is inferior to someone of our standing. You are absolutely regarded as the victim, because this game that we play with you, and one which we revel in, means you have to be the victim, because that means we win and you lose. This is a zero-sum game to us. Oh, this cloak is yours all right, but just like the lesser and the mid-range narcissists, we will deny you any right to wear it. Why should you be afforded any sympathy, support, or help? You should not, and here's why. You deserve to be punished. You have nothing to complain about. We have given you the world by your association with us, and therefore how on earth can you have any basis for complaint? You brought this treatment on yourself, so not only do you deserve it, which is akin to the viewpoint of the lesser narcissist to some extent, it goes further than that. It is right and just for you to be treated that way. Should the criminal be afforded sympathy when his sentence is announced? No. Should the morally repugnant member of the community be afforded kindness for his heinous behaviour? No. Then neither shall you. You are denied the accoutrements of the status of victim. You are the victim, absolutely, but you will not wear that cloak. It does not even reach your shoulders as it does with the victim of the lesser narcissist. We forbid it coming anywhere near you. We are the supreme judge of your fate, and we always apply the maxim of commodum ex injuria sua nemo habere. Did you not know that this has been stitched into the lining of the victim's cloak? Of course, this maxim is not applicable to us.